Talking about the quality of the fans and how the dedicated fans kind of keep the band going. Here's what Geddy had to say yesterday at the Cow Palace.
Well, they certainly have kept us alive through all the years. I mean, they are very loyal, and they've supported us tremendously over the past number of years. So.
2 or 3 times in the Bay Area, but a little bit different this time. You know, kind of getting around the whole perimeters and stuff, and moving throughout the new arenas. It should be a good show. It's definitely cleaner than a lot of other arenas around the country. The new album Counterparts. One thing a lot of Rush fans have noticed, there seems to be kind of more back to the roots of Rush, more of a back to the raw sound from some of your early days. Is that something a little more intentional, or something that just kind of came about?
Well, it's kind of a bit of both, really. There was a growing dissatisfaction with the kind of energy level and power level we were getting on our last couple of records. While we were making those records, we were very happy with the way they sounded, and we were happy with the end result as well. But we felt that there was a bit more pizzazz that we were not capturing that we did have when we played live. So through the last tour, the Roll of Bones tour, we play a lot of those songs. They just had more energy live than they did on record. So we decided to change the way we were going about recording ourselves, and we got a very positive result. I think we've recaptured some of that power.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, many fans have been noticing a lot of that power in the first couple times listening to the whole Counterpart CD. One thing about, like a lot of rock fans today, seem to be a bit jaded about coming to a big arena to seeing a band. A lot of people tend to prefer seeing a band in a smaller, intimate setting. One thing about Rush, from the times I've seen you in the past, I think you guys are probably the best band to see in an arena. It's almost the most enjoyable place because of a lot of the videos, lasers, and quadraphonic sound that's incorporated. Is that something you guys strive for or and take a little pride in?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you have to, from our point of view, if we're going to play these hockey arenas and in a large context, we feel like we have an obligation to put on as entertaining a show as possible, and to make sure that the sound is as good as it can be, and that there's a great number of effects and fun things for the audience to look at as well as listen to. So it's important to us to do a big show and to have a lot of fun trying to think up new goofy things to do on stage with our show.
Now, you mentioned the F word there, Geddy. That's fun. Now, last time you guys do have a reputation for sometimes being a bit serious, or maybe sometimes a little more serious than, say, a lot of the rock bands out there. But when you guys are on stage, there's a lot of fun going on between you and Alex and Neil. So it doesn't seem like it's this cold, non-fun entity going up there. You guys are definitely enjoying themselves, and after 20 years on the road, you still enjoy each and every show pretty much. Yeah,
well, we never take ourselves seriously. It's just other people that take us seriously. So, and we can't control that. So, and I guess it has something to do with, the way our image has been projected over the years. But there's always a lot of little things that we've thrown in our music over the years that have made it not as heavy as people like to think we are. But nonetheless, I guess there's a time for seriousness, and there's a time for just enjoying yourself.
Also, remember back to the Signals album, 1983. Remember on some of the inside art, there was Warren Cromartie Middle School, I think it was. Warren Cromartie, a player of the Expos back in the 80s. One of the best performances from you individually, I think, would have to be the Canadian national anthem during the All-Star game. I think that was last year you did that?
Yeah, it was at this past All-Star game. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was glad I did it, and I swore I would never do a national anthem because, I'm a ball fan and I hate sitting through the national anthem. I want the game to start. Right? I always said I would be open to throwing out a first pitch somewhere, but for some reason people just want me to sing the national anthem. So I was glad I did it for that particular occasion. It was a beautiful ballpark, and it was a very special event. So I was glad to be there.
Do you think the Blue Jays will three-peat this year?
Don't tell my friends back home, but I really don't see it at the moment.
Okay. One last thing, we want to go to the song "Nobody's Hero," which is on the latest album, Counterparts. We're about to roll into that. It's one of the first tunes that you guys have dealt with more of a serious issue. This time, bringing up the subject of HIV and AIDS. What was simply the inspiration for bringing it out now on this album?
Well, I mean, the song is very misinterpreted in a lot of ways. There's a verse that deals with someone who died of AIDS. But really, it's not. The point of the song is not to speak about AIDS in particular. The second verse deals with a tragedy that befalls a young woman. But the song is really about our view of public people and the problem that we have elevating them to a heroic stature and ignoring the people that are around us in everyday circumstances that live heroic lives or fight heroic battles to stay alive or do many other heroic things, but they do it just as part of their lives and not for any great celebrity or great reward. So the song discusses that confusion between role models and heroes, and that's really what the song is about to me.
And Neil, of course, writes the lyrics again on the new Rush album. All right, once again, J. Crew's backstage with Geddy Lee. Geddy, we're going to go ahead and roll into Nobody's Hero right now. Any last words for your fans here in San Jose on KOME?
Well, I'm just happy to be playing for you guys here in San Jose for a change, and hope we can come back again sometime.
All right, maybe we'll invite you down for a Sharks Maple Leafs game or something.